The Cowboys' much-maligned defense could soon get reinforcements. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer said Thursday that safety Malik Hooker is returning to practice, according to Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. Hooker, 29, was placed on injured reserve after sustaining a toe injury in a Week 4 game against the Packers. He is now eligible to resume practicing, and Dallas will have 21 days to add him to the 53-man roster. He has 20 tackles, 12 solo, in 4 starts this season after collecting 81 tackles and 2 interceptions across 17 games in 2024. Cowboys' secondary has battled numerous injuries. Hooker was a limited participant in Thursday's practice as he works his way back from injury. The former first-round pick started the first 4 games of this season before getting hurt in Dallas' 40-40 tie with Green Bay. Ever since, Dallas has struggled mightily to fill Hooker's position in the secondary. Wanya Thomas replaced him in Weeks 5 and 6 before he was sidelined with recurring migraines. Marquise Bell stepped in for Week 7, but the Cowboys' other starting safety, Donovan Wilson, left that game with an elbow injury. That left undrafted rookie Elijah Clark in a tough spot for Week 8. The constant turnover has been incredibly problematic for the Cowboys' defense, which ranks 31st in both yards allowed, 397.4, and points allowed, 30.8. Across the NFL, only the Bengals have been scored on more frequently, 33.3. The Cowboys, 3-5-1, are just 1-3 in their last 4 games. They will be in Las Vegas on Monday night to play the Raiders. Wilson also returns to practice. Also back at practice Thursday was Wilson, whose last appearance came in Week 7 against the Commanders. In addition to an elbow injury, the 30-year-old has been dealing with shoulder and knee issues. Wilson has 36 tackles, 21 solo, and 2 interceptions in 7 games. Hooker and Wilson ranked first and second on the team, respectively, in defensive snaps last season. Their return could drastically reshape a secondary that's had to rely on unproven commodities for far too long. With starting right guard Jackson Powers-Johnson likely out for the season for the Las Vegas Raiders, it was expected that rookie third-round pick Caleb Rogers would get a chance to play in the Week 11 game against the Dallas Cowboys. Head coach Pete Carroll even hinted that he'd have an opportunity. However, before the game, it was revealed that Rogers was listed as inactive. That was followed up with the news that starting center Jordan Meredith got moved to right guard, while backup guard Will Putnam made the start at center. The Raiders' offensive line got dominated by the Cowboys, so that decision looks very poor in hindsight. The team was 2-7 before the game. So many are wondering why the coaching staff isn't putting in rookies and letting them develop. Regarding Rogers, the Raiders were planning to play him in Week 11, but a poor showing at practice led to him being inactive, according to The Athletic's Ted Nguyen. According to a source with the Raiders, the staff tried to start rookie guard Caleb Rogers initially, in practice, but he struggled. Charles Grant is still too raw as of right now to play. Nguyen wrote on X. Carroll explains, OL shuffling. Nobody is suggesting that Rogers would have been any better than what Meredith or Putnam, but he's a rookie who needs reps. Even if he played poorly, at least the Raiders could say that they were developing a young player. Instead, they had a terrible performance and weren't able to develop a rookie in the process. Carroll explained what went into the decision-making. The competition during the time this week and what's been happening the last 2 weeks, we've been looking at it. We tried different combinations. We looked at all of it and felt like that was the best way we could go, Carroll said after Monday's loss. Jordan had a really solid season at guard last year, and he felt really comfortable moving. We tried Caleb, you guys were following that, and we looked at some different combinations, and this was the best way we thought to do it. Carroll wants to play rookies when they're ready. In the past, Carroll has done great work with young players, but this season, he has seemed apprehensive to give rookies much of a role. That said, he does claim that he wants to get them on the field, but he just needs to see more from them. There is a lot of guys that did play last year on this team in the offense. It's pretty much the same group up front. With the guys that are banged up, not so, but until this past week without Colton, we have the guys that we've had, Carroll said. We're hoping that they're going to continue to grow and grow together. There's some youth in there and some inexperience that we're dealing with and trying to figure out how to bring our guys along. We would love to see Caleb play, and we would love to see Charles Grant play, but it hasn't happened that way. They've got to show it in practice and show us that they're ready. We're not ignoring it at all. Last night, Cowboys receiver George Pickens grabbed a goalpost. Eventually, he'll be grabbing a bag. Where will it come from? The Cowboys already have massive cap dollars committed to quarterback Dak Prescott and receiver CeeDee Lamb. Can they afford a Bengals-style Burrow-Chase Higgins trio of market-level deals? The Bengals aren't the best comparison to make, given that their oversized payments to the pass-game Paul have robbed their putrid Peter of a defense. Even before last night, it was clear that the Cowboys have a tough decision to make. They traded for Pickens without an extension. His rookie contract expires in March. The basic choices are obvious. 1. Sign him to a long-term deal. 2. Apply the franchise tag. 3. Tag and trade him. Or 4. Let him leave via free agency and get a compensatory draft pick in 2027. Owner/G.M. Jerry Jones raised the stakes after the latest performance from Pickens. 9 receptions, 144 yards, and a touchdown. His best catch of the night was a one-hander that was nearly a touchdown. "I've never seen a performance like that," Jones said of Pickens. "It was poetic the way that he was making those moves out there. It was like he was in an opera or something out there. A ballet." And now Jones will be square dancing through a minefield. The projected receiver franchise tag for 2026 would entail at least $28 million in cash and cap charges. And it would allow Pickens to take a stand, declining to accept the tender and staying away for all of the offseason, training camp, and preseason if he wants. As it relates to a possible long-term deal, the Cowboys would be negotiating with David Mulugheta, the agent they tried to bypass when attempting to sign, and eventually destroying the relationship with Micah Parsons. If the Cowboys are committed to keeping Pickens, and, based on Jones's comments, they apparently will be, it's going to be expensive. The market is the market, and there's no way a long-term deal won't begin with a number on Pickens's jersey. 3. There's another wrinkle to consider, one for which the Cowboys have some precedent. After the Cowboys traded a first-round pick to the Raiders for receiver Amari Cooper during the 2018 season, they let Cooper finish his rookie contract in 2019 before signing him to a 5-year, $100 million deal. And, after paying out a total of $40 million in 2020 and 2021, they traded him to make way for Lamb. And so the overall collection of outcomes has to include the possibility of eventually trading Lamb and keeping Pickens. It sounds crazy on the surface, especially in the short term. A pre-June 1 trade would come with a total cap charge of $42.8 million, while also eliminating his $38.6 million cap number for next season. The more likely approach will be to exercise the automatic restructure option, knocking Lamb's cap number down by $18 million or so, and kicking the rest of it into future years. If it doesn't happen in 2026, the either-or decision could come in 2027 or 2028. At some point, the Cowboys very well may have to choose between Lamb and Pickens. Given that Jones has never said about Lamb what Jones said about Pickens, it shouldn't be assumed that, when the time comes, Pickens is definitely the one who will go.